spirulina algae was born into the world 3.5 billion years ago. Much later, the inhabitants of Africa and Mexico used spirulina algae in their diet. It has also been the food of the flamingo bird to help its feathers be more colorful. This food became more widely known in 1967 at an international biology conference. 7 years later, a United Nations agency predicted that the spirulina algae would become one of the world's most valuable food sources. In 1980, it went so far as to say that the spirulina algae is capable of feeding the entire population of the globe. The reason for this is that the spirulina algae is a green vegetable with a high protein content of 55 to 70% per 100 grams dried weight, as well as having a significant concentration of beta-carotene, amino acids, vitamins, and more than 50 minerals beneficial to human health. Moreover, spirulina algae have thin cell walls, which aids the digestive process and allows the body to immediately absorb its nutrients. Dainippon Incorporated and Chemical Company Limited, world-renowned for chemical production, have conducted research which shows that spirulina algae help reduce the presence of some unhealthy types of cholesterol, thus lowering the risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, and diseases of the liver. Scientific procedures and controls are required to ensure that in the production of spirulina algae, all of their quality and nutritional values are enhanced, while the utmost safety for human consumption is guaranteed. In 1970, the company began to study methods for raising and breeding spirulina algae with the cooperation of Dr. Hiroshi Nakamura. After continuous technical development, the company was able to produce spirulina algae of a standard and at a quantity that made it the #1 manufacturer of spirulina algae on Earth. Siam Algae Company Limited is a 100% owned subsidiary of the parent company, established in 1977 to grow and produce spirulina algae in Thailand. This country's warm climate is particularly suitable to the cultivation of these algae, which require sunlight and carbon dioxide to produce chlorophyll. The oxygen produced by the chlorophyll process helps improve the global environment. The knowledge and expertise gained by Siam Algae Company Limited was later utilized by Earthrise Farms Company Limited, founded in California, USA, to produce spirulina algae, and by Hainan DIC Microalgae Company Limited in Hainan, China. Siam Algae Company Limited occupies a large plot of land on Bang Natrat Road in Samut Prakan Province. The raising of spirulina algae here begins with the selection of good strains of algae, continues on with their cultivation, and culminates with the manufacture of nutritious products in powdered form for domestic sale and for export. Siam Algae also manufactures spirulina algae to serve as animal feed, such as for shrimps and beautiful fish. The company's staff are given considerable training and technical information and have sufficient expertise to ensure that production meets the highest standards of success in terms of both strict quality control and disinfection. As a result, Siam Algae spirulina algae have been certified as completely safe by the Japan Health Food Association. The production process takes place in two parts. The first is cultivation by means of nutrients and sunlight, and the second is post-cultivation, which involves drying and processing. The cultivation of spirulina. For the efficient cultivation of spirulina, The company selects healthy, well-formed strains which are adapted to the Thai climate. Test tube cultures are used to determine the safety of these strains for consumers. The algae grow into coiled spring-like shapes, each 500 microns or 1/2 millimeter in length, which is 100 times larger than the chlorella algae. In each test tube, the algae are fed nutrients or media consisting of phosphorus, magnesium, potassium, and carbonate ion. This part of the process takes place in sterile conditions, normally for about 1 week. The test tube is then placed in a shaking flask and agitated in a shaker until the contents are of one consistency. They are next transferred to an apple-shaped bottle and exposed to electric light for 24 hours a day. Carbon dioxide is also introduced at intervals to adjust their pH level. After a set period of time, the algae are moved to cultivation ponds of various sizes. After a certain amount of growth has occurred, the algae are transferred to progressively larger ponds and finally to the main basin, which measures 2,000 square meters in area. Spirulina algae grow much faster than other types of vegetation and can be harvested after only 3 days in the main basin. Thus, about 1/3 of the main basin's content is extracted and replenished every day. Siam Algae places great emphasis on quality control and on maintaining its spirulina algae under optimum growing conditions. Inspection and regulation procedures are carried out with utmost strictness. The Quality Control Department conducts random sampling from every pond on every day. Tests are taken for such matters as the algae's size and shape as seen through a microscope, as well as for the presence of bacteria and germs, including mineral nutrients in the feeding media. One cycle of algae cultivation from the test tube to the main basin is about 3 months long. The next phase is called post-cultivation. Post-cultivation. Before harvesting, the responsible department meets to decide on a production schedule based on daily inspection reports. To collect the algae, a channel or service pit is opened up by a valve. The algae are pumped through this channel to a filtering system, which is approximately 8 meters high and comprises 3 levels. The algae are pumped up to the top level, after which they pass through filters at all 3 levels by the force of gravity, so as to separate the algae from their media. The algae are then washed with water obtained from an aquifer 150 meters below ground. The purity of this water contributes to the algae's quality. The algae are filtered once again by means of a vacuum separator, leaving behind damp pieces of matted algae. This residue is kept in a storage tank, then sent on to a stirring tank in preparation for the spray drying process. For drying, a temperature of about 170 degrees Celsius is used. Drying time is strictly limited to prevent any loss of nutritional value. The dry algae powder is next conveyed to a blender to produce powder of a single, even consistency and quality. A control board monitors and regulates all of the machinery involved in these processes. The Quality Control Department takes random samples at various points to check on the presence of the proper nutrients and minerals, such as protein, chlorophyll, carotenoid, and phycocyanine. Humidity and microbe factors are also measured to determine the algae safety for human consumption. The algae are packed in bags which are then vacuum sealed to prevent any further exposure to oxygen or contaminants. The final step is to scan the content for any metals with a metal detector. Most of the powdered spirulina products are packed in 20-kilogram bags. Then sold in Thailand and abroad, including Japan, Asia, Europe, and Oceania. The dried spirulina algae of Siam Algae Company Limited offer tremendous food value and contain protein, fat, fiber, chlorophyll, vitamins, minerals, and amino acids, a total of over 50 different nutrients that promote good health. Today, spirulina algae is much more than just another green vegetable. It has been growing on this planet for hundreds of millions of years. It is now a significant health food for billions of people who need the type of nutrition that spirulina algae can give. We at Siam Algae are proud of our ability to manufacture nutritious, safe, high-quality spirulina algae that meet international standards of utmost safety for human consumption. We are the first spirulina manufacturing company in the world to meet the HACCP standard of SGS Thailand. We have also qualified for the GMP standards of the Food and Drug Administration of the Ministry of Health of Thailand and the Halal Food Standards of the Central Islamic Board of Thailand. Our products have now been widely accepted by consumers all over the world, as is evident from our annual growth in sales volume. Our company is now celebrating its 25th year of success as of the year 2002. We are determined and prepared to make further advances in the development of algae as the health food of the world. Spirulina algae, the food of today and for the future.